Good day, grade 4s, and welcome to Natural Sciences, week 9. We are in the beginning of week 9. Can you imagine that? Time is really flying, don't you guys think? Okay. My name is Mrs. de Klerk, and I am your natural science teacher for grade 4. Let's recap on what we did last week. We looked at structures for animals, and we looked at natural shelters and man-made shelters. Natural shelters being in nature somewhere already, or one that an animal can make, and one that a man can make for an animal. And then we looked at materials that we use for animal shelters. Guys, your chats have been switched that you can only speak to me privately now. Okay, so you can't speak to each other. So if you want to answer questions or ask something, your message will come to me privately. It was just on an open chat box before the class started. Okay, right. Let's take a peek at what we are going to do today. Today we are going to look at shell and at frame structures and what the differences between the two are. We are going to design an animal shelter. And by doing that, we are going to use the technology process. Let's quickly speak about shell and frame structures. Right, shell structures mainly contain or protect the contents of whatever is inside of it. An example is a bird's egg that protects the little chick that is growing inside of it. A car is another example. It can give some protection to its passengers. You see, it makes a shell around something that it wants to protect on the inside. Another example is a pot holds the food inside it. Okay. Let me just see what you are saying in the chat box. Right, let's continue. Now let's look at a frame structure and what is the difference here? Remember that a frame structure now has a different purpose than a shell structure. There's a frame structure inside your body. Your skeleton supports your body. In animals, the skeleton is a frame structure. Okay, your knees and your elbows are places where the bones join. Now, our skeletons are made of different bones that are joined together, and these bones are usually long and they're relatively straight. So we will call them the members of a frame structure. A frame structure must carry a load in the right places without it collapsing or falling over. Okay. Frames are made of members and joints. That's what I just told you, that your bones are usually long and straight, and they could be called the members of a frame structure. And then the place where these bones or the members come together are then called the joints. Now, without the structure and the support of your skeleton, your body would be unable to move like it does. Like I just mentioned, members are the long parts, and the joints are where the long parts come together in this type of structure. Now, if we look at materials, some longer tubes can be joined to make triangles. And then those tubes are called the members, and where the tubes come together, it will be called a joint. Okay. Like the finger as well, good Taryn. Guys, we are going to move on to the next slide. Okay, animals use these basic structures to make their homes as well. They're quite clever. They do it without even knowing what the functions are. If we look at spiders, spiders build their webs, and the webs are very delicate and it's very carefully made frame structures. If we look at weaver birds, they build a very complex woven nest, which is hollow inside, and that is a shell structure. Then we talked about bees as well the other day. Bees build hives that are made of cells, and those cells are hexagon shaped. So that will also be a shell structure because the cells are hollow inside and it keeps something safe inside. They are called shell structures. Man-made animal shelters are also designed this way. A bird cage is a frame structure. Well, depending on what type of bird cage, a frame that holds a bird cage that stands up will be a frame structure. And then a dog kennel will be a shell structure. Okay. Now what I want you guys to do, Kila, you're saying last week you asked a question about where the people who lives in the desert get fed from. We answered your question. Don't you remember? I even read a piece to you about certain desert people. I'm going to look at that question again at the end of this lesson. Okay, then I'll answer your question again if you didn't hear it on Friday. But let's quickly do this exercise. I want you guys to list the two types of structures we just talked about. What two types of structures did we just talk about? You can tell me. I want you to type. This is my smarty class. I thought I would have had an answer by now. No answer in the chat box. Good. Kwanda says shell. Jenna says shell. Neo, knees are not structures. Talk about a shell structure and the other one. Good. Shell and frame. Good. We talked about frame structures and we talked about shell structures. Good job. Okay, number 2. Now let's see what is the difference between a shell and the frame structure. Now question 2 and question 3 are almost the same. Question 2 says what is the difference between shell and frame structures, and question 3 says what kind of functions do shell and frame structures serve. Well, question 3 answers question 2. The difference between a shell and a frame structure is in its function. So they have two completely different functions, and that is the difference. Okay. In question 3, we are going to look at the kind of functions. So number 3, what kinds of functions do shell and frame structures serve? Who can tell me what is the function of a shell structure? Okay. Let's see. Any one of you? I'm waiting for an answer here. What is the function of a shell structure? What does a shell structure do? It what something inside of it? Good, Nukwanda. The shells protect things inside of them. Good. A lot of you are giving me the correct answers. Zoe, you are also saying it protects them. Good. Right. Let's see what I wrote. Shell structures protect the contents. The contents meaning which is inside. Okay, here. So right. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Well done. The next one. What is the function of a frame structure? We've looked at the shell structure, and you were all correct when you said it protects the contents, but a frame structure, what does that do? Who knows? Oh, I'm going to give you the answer, and later on I'm going to do it again and see if you remember. Taryn, good. Structures provide support. So in short, that is the difference, okay? So remember, a shell structure protects something inside, and a frame structure provides support. Okay. Do you remember that? Did we look at the water tank last week? It had a frame structure. It supported the water tank. Okay, now we are all scientific here. We are going to start looking at the technology process. And the reason for that is today you are going to design your own birdhouse, but I'll give you a reason why. Okay, and then we will use the technology process to do it. So when we design and make products and structures, we use a special way to do this in sciences, and it is called the technology process. Now, this process helps you to design and to make products. So we are going to have a closer look. We use the technology process to investigate a specific problem. Then we use this information to design and make something to help us solve this problem. Okay, so I am going to put it into practice for you just now when we read a little scenario and we are going to address a specific problem. Okay. While we work on the design and make the product, we constantly evaluate it to see if it is working and if it does what we meant for it to do. Okay, so we're constantly going to, while we're making this, going to remember why are we doing this. I'll give you some examples later when we do it. So we have to evaluate the whole time. Is it working like it's supposed to? Is it what it is supposed to do? While we're using the technology process, we also talk to our friends or other people working with us to tell what we plan to do and to explain how we want to design or how we want to make our product. Now, many people use the technology process every day. And if you want to design and make something to solve a problem, you can use it too. Okay, the technology process has 5 steps that we'll be looking at now. The first step is to investigate a problem. Then the second step is to design. So you're going to see a problem, get a solution for it, then design what you need to do about it, and then make it. While you are making it and after you're making it, you will evaluate it to see is it doing what you intended it for the purpose you made it in the first place, and then we will communicate. Okay, now whenever we do a technology project in natural sciences and technology, we will be following these steps. Yes, Taryn, you will definitely be able to make it for your toy bird. Yes, for sure. Okay. Now this is our task for today. Let's use the technology process that I just talked about to help some birds in your area, or like Taryn said, she is going to build it for her toy birds. But in this scenario, we are going to help some birds in your area. Remember what I said, you need to start by first identifying the problem, and then you can start to design to make a solution. Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario then you will see what the problem is, and then we are going to come up with a solution and make it, or design it rather. So let's look at our next activity, where we will design a shelter for wild birds, or in Taryn's case, for toy birds. Okay, here is our scenario. Help! The birds need you. Many of the trees in your town have been chopped down to make space for homes and other buildings. The birds that used to make their nests in the trees now have nowhere to safely lay their eggs. There are many more rats, mice, and other pests in the city because there are fewer and fewer birds to catch them. There's a spelling mistake there. Did you guys see that? This there. This is from your Thunderbolt book. I'll have to tell them. This is because many birds left to find safe.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Grade 10 Life Sciences. Guys, I'm just standing in today for Ms. Katlego Matibe. Remember, guys, this is her email address, is wiz.wiznet@gmail.com. And guys can also get hold of her at cat_leg on Twitter. Right, so today we are going to look at, let's just life at the molecular, cellular, and tissue levels. So we'll be looking at cells and cell division, basically mitosis and cancer. Right, I believe that you guys had already started with this. And today's just basically revision. And remember, guys, we will be doing Kahoot. So please do get your devices ready, right? And if you are using one device, you can also just screen share your device for the Kahoot, right? Remember, if you have any questions, you can post them on the group chat. Okay. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to answer questions on mitosis and cancer. Right, now let's do a quick recap. Cancer is caused by DNA mutations, right? And then we have abnormal and uncontrolled cell division that occurs, and it results in a tumor formation. Okay, remember that tumors, they affect the functioning of tissues or organs, and we have two types of tumors. That is your benign tumor and your malignant tumor. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the difference between a benign tumor and a malignant tumor? Just send through your answers to the group chat as I continue. The difference between a benign tumor and a malignant tumor. Okay, so cancer cells can enter the bloodstream or lymph, and they can spread to distant parts of the body and form new tumors. And this is what we call metastasis, right? Cancers are caused by a substance called carcinogens, right? And carcinogens such as certain chemicals, radiation, viruses, and genetics can be the cause of certain cancers. Then we have cancers can also be treated by various methods, including surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, and traditional medicines. All right. Okay, let us move on. Then homework, guys. This is your homework, I believe, for tomorrow. Now, you guys should, for the first question, it says, what is the difference between a benign and malignant tumor? That is also the question that I've asked you guys now, right? So seems like I will not be giving you guys the answer, because I will be giving you the answer to your homework. So tomorrow, you guys should know the difference between a benign and a malignant tumor. And then second question is that you should name 5 preventative measures or behaviors that will decrease your chances of developing cancer. All right. So just note your homework. If you need to write it down somewhere, quickly do that. If you need to take a screenshot, then you can just quickly do that as well. And then can I also just get an indication if everyone is done by using that yes button at participants, or you can just communicate on the group chat that you've already written down your homework or taken a screenshot. Okay, Tyrese, Ngosipile, thank you. And the others, are you guys done? Right, beautiful. Okay, and let us continue then. So remember, it's what is the difference between a benign and malignant tumor? And the second question is, name 5 preventative measures or behaviors that will decrease your chances of developing cancer. Right. Oh wait, guys, did you have this homework or is it homework for tomorrow? Because I just saw solutions right now. Was this homework that you guys got? Do we need to mark anything? The homework that I asked you guys to take the screenshot of, was it previously given to you? All right, cool. Okay. So if it was not previously given to you guys, then you'll mark tomorrow because I just saw a solution slide. I hope none of you guys saw it. All right, cool. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now let us get into Kahoot. Get your devices ready and it'll give you names. I believe that you guys will be using the same names that you used in the previous Kahoot. Right. And if you can't use Kahoot, you can just send through your answers in the group chat, right? And also says, NB, remember your nicknames for tomorrow's class. I believe that will also be using Kahoot, or there will probably be a reward session. So guys, let us get our devices ready for Kahoot, and let me change my screen, right? So that I can give you guys the game pin. Remember, it is kahoot.it, right? Kahoot.it. Guys, sorry for the music. Okay, wait, let me try stopping the music. It's quite weird. And we'll just pause for a few. So guys, remember, if you can't get onto Kahoot, you can use the group chat to send through your answers because I need everyone to participate, right? There is our game pin. Remember, www.kahoot.it. And here is the game pin. Okay, I see you, Pile, Letabo, I see you. Megan, Nazi, right? Tyrese. There goes our music again. Pause. Right, where's everyone else? Come through, guys. Come through to Kahoot, www.kahoot.it. And the game pin is 4735276. 4735276. Okay, so we have 6 players, and I believe in the group chat we like, what, 18? Okay, Ms. P, I wasn't here last week, so please kindly inform me on what's happening. So Ms. P, we are playing a Kahoot game based on cancer and mitosis revision. So I need you to go on www.kahoot.it, right? And use the game pin that is appearing on your screen. Guys, I'm really sorry about the music. I don't know how to stop it because it only pauses for a few minutes and then it goes back on. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Right, 9 players, 9 players. Guys, if you can't get into Kahoot, and if you're gonna resort to using the group chat for sending through your answers, just please indicate for me so that I know when we can start. 9 out of 17. Come guys, join in. Around Rotaries, Thailand. As what's happening to other 7? Are you guys unable to join? Are you? Okay, ma'am, it's my first time hearing your voice. Okay, I'm standing in for Ma'am Matibe, all right? She's just not present today, but she will be with you guys tomorrow. Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna start now. If you're not in, then just use the group chat to send through your answers, all right? And if the music does start playing, just, groove, jive, do whatever, but send through your answers, right? Cool, let's start.
Learners, stand by for us. It looks like ma'am has got a technical problem. We'll sort it out and get back to you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, that was just a technical issue, all right? Can you guys please just rejoin again using the game pin?
Places to build their nests and raise their chicks. Some of the birds that stayed behind tried to make nests on rooftops, but the people did not like the mess they made on their buildings and destroyed the nests. Other birds tried to build their nests on tall radio and television towers, but then the people could not get their television or radios to work properly, so they also broke their nests and shooed the birds away. The people are complaining about all the pests that are in the city, and the birds want to come back but do not have a safe place to build nests. They need your help. In the previous section, we learned about animal homes. We need to help these birds by making homes or places for them to roost and also making it look good to the people. Okay, so here you guys see the problem. The towns have been chopped, oh my goodness, the trees in the town have been chopped down because they were building homes there. So now the birds that used to be there, they have nowhere that they can lay their eggs safely. And because the birds are not there, there are a lot of more pests in the city. Because if there are no birds to catch them, then they just multiply. Because a lot of birds now left to go make their homes somewhere else. Okay, then the ones that stayed behind tried to make nests on rooftops and on buildings, but the people didn't like it because it was messy and they destroyed the nests. And then other birds tried television towers or radio towers, but then there was a problem with the signal and people couldn't get their TVs or radios to work, so they also broke their nests and they shoot the birds away. Now the people are complaining about the pests. To me, it seems like the people are the problem, okay? But anyway, they need our help. We need to make safe places for these birds that they can breed, that they don't go away, but that it still looks neat and it doesn't bother anyone and it still looks good to the people living there. Okay, have you got it? You have the problem. Do you understand the problem? Now, in the previous section, we learned about animal homes. Now, we need to help these birds by making homes or places for them to roost and also making it good people, or to look good to the people. Right, now when we do this project, we are going to start off with a design brief. Now, a design brief is a short description of what we plan to do. So now we are going to start our project. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. And I hope that you have a pen and pencil with you, a pen and paper, or pencil and paper with you, because you will actually make a drawing today and plan your own bird cage, or not a cage, a bird home rather. Now, an example of a design brief or this project could be design and make an animal shelter that can be used by wild birds. So your design brief is basically a short description of what you want to do. Okay. So let's get on to designing. The next step in our design process is to investigate and to do some research.
And then tomorrow we are playing Kahoot, and it will be based on various finance questions. So the whole of this week, it's not just finance as well as measurement. So all the work we actually did together this term, I will incorporate that in the different Kahoot. So every day from tomorrow, there'll be a lesson, and then there'll be Kahoot, just so that you can also test your progress with the short tests that I'll give you on Kahoot. So it'll be fun. Plus, it'll also help you learn where you're at with the topics we covered. So I think today's one will be very short. I hope so. This graph here, this is a line graph showing the percentage share of 2015 imports for the first 8 products in table 1. This has been drawn on the answer sheet. So this graph it's based on the table we're doing, right? On the same grid, they're asking you to draw another line representing the percentage change for the period 2013 to 2015 for the same 8 products. So I have shown you here those different products here so that we can be able to plot the graph together. So for someone who understands plotting graphs, this really is free 6 marks for you. But for those who are not quite sure, let us do it together. We are given this grid. This one you'll be given in your answer sheet. So exactly as I'm showing you right now, you'll be given in your answer sheet. What you need to add now is it's another line graph representing the percentage change for the period 2013 to 2015 for the same 8 products. So this is the one we are working on. This is the column we are focusing on right now. And we will note that the graph is based on this column on our left, the one that I'm highlighting in red right now. So to check if what I'm saying is true, let's first check, so that we get guidance. We're saying we plot what? The first 8 products. So it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the ones we are focusing on. You'll see the first one here is the 2%. And you look at your graph, that means right up there, it's 2%. And then second one, it's 1.25. And you'll see it's slightly above the 0 point. So that's the 1.25. Third one, it's 12.38. You can see it's 1, 2. You can clearly see, you see the labeling there. Based on the values on the y-axis where the scale used is a difference of the multiples of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? That's how then they plotted the y-axis. And then for the x-axis, It's just same equal spacing and then the names of the products. And it's also labeled on the y-axis, it's the percentage, and then on the x-axis, it's the products. So there's also a map here to show you that, this code here, to show you that the type of line that is like this, it's dot and dashes. It's the one that represents the percentage share of 2015 imports. Then you will have to create your own, because you can clearly see there's one line graph. Ne? That means when you draw your own line now, we'll have to use different type of line to draw. And you'd indicate that this other line now is the other line that you are drawing will be shown by whatever you are choosing. So you can choose to use stars, or you can choose to use stars and dashes, or you can even use diamonds, anything really, it's up to you. But just be sure to indicate there that you are now using this one for this next line. So when we plot, it means we're going to plot what? The 40%, the first product now, when we are plotting in our graph, it's 40%. So right up there for the very first product, it will be at 40. The next one is -1%. So it will be around there somewhere, right? Next one is -12. The third one is -12. So you also go around there for your -12. Let's see, it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so you need to work out your scalings correctly. So that's how it would go. You would plot like this. The fourth one is 13%. So we'll need to go above them, above the 10, just a little bit there. %, should be around there as well. You can clearly see, you can follow what I'm trying to do, ne? So then now, this is how your graph would come out after you've plotted all your points. You plot them, and then you join the lines together because it is a line graph. So after plotting your various points, you will join your lines. And you can see here that the mark allocation is shown. The mark allocation for the correct plotting there, the mark allocation for the correct plotting. So you see it's 1, that's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one. So you're getting all your 6 marks for plotting on the correct places on that same answer sheet. So they made it easier for you. You may see, I've already drawn the Cartesian plane for you. They've literally done everything for you. All you need to do is plot, and you have the numbers here on your table. So this was the easy part. That's the 6 marks, free 6 marks that you need to take advantage of. But should you ever get a situation where you have to draw your own graph, then what you need to do then is make sure you label your graph before you do anything. Wait, you first give it the title or the heading for the graph. Always, before you even start working with your numbers, before you start plotting, make sure you've got the heading or the title of the graph first. Then you've got, you draw then your Cartesian plane and you label your x's accordingly. Right now we can see the x-axis is products, the y-axis is percentage. You need to do that. Then you need to also include the mapping here, which is directing people, and the person who will be reading your answer or reading your graph will then get to understand exactly how to read the information presented on the graph. Because you can see right now we have 2 different graphs, right? So if they can see that this one represents the share of 15% of 2015, the percentage share of 2015, then they'd know that the other one represents the percentage change, but preferably label everything so that they can clearly see. And then you list your products properly there. So whatever is on the x-axis, write it properly. Whatever is on the y-axis, write it properly. And make sure that the spacing is equal. As you can see here, it's 50, 40, 30. It's consistent. There's a difference of 10 between them. If you choose a difference of 5, then be consistent. The main point is consistency.
This music. Guys, please go on Kahoot IT and join in again. There was just a huge technical issue, right? That caused a shutdown. Sorry about that, guys. Wat het gebeur? Technical issues, Tyrese. Technical. It's there. It's appearing on your screen. Can you guys all see it? All right, cool. Yammer. Okay, so I believe we're like 11, eh? Then we're just gonna immediately start. Seven. Okay, we're 7. So guys, some of you will just join in as we're going. So I'm just gonna start now. All right, cool. 2. Let's go. Mitosis occurs in A, bone cells, C, both A and B, B, formation of sperms, D, none of the above. Send through your answers. Yeah. 5, 2, away. Bone cells. 4 of us got it correct. We have one answer which says both C and B. And 3, it says B, the formation of sperms. Okay, let's see our group chat if we have any answers in there. You got it wrong. Okay, guys, remember, mitosis, this is where we have the formation of identical cells, right? So in formation of sperm cells, that's another process or cell division, which we call meiosis. All right, and you will deal with meiosis in grade 12. All right, so just note it is bone cells. Okay, next question. So the first one who got the answer was Pile, and he is topping the board. I think it's a he. Just correct me if I'm wrong. And then Nazi, Miss PKK, and Cairo. Question 2. During cytokinesis in a plant cell, is formed. All right, beautiful. So most of us got it correct. 2 said chromatid. Guys, remember chromatid. What is a chromatid? And in which phase do we find chromatids? Which phase do we find chromatids? So cytokinesis doesn't form a chromatid. And who said cell membrane? Okay, guys, it's a cell plate. Ne? The correct answer is cell plate. Let's see. Ooh, Pile from number 1 to number 5. Yo, Lwazi, we see you. Tyrese, Cairo, Letabo, we see you guys. Spindle fibers are formed by centrioles and found in plant cells only. True or false, right? Two, one. Game over. And the correct answer is false. True, spindle fibers are formed by centrioles found in plants. Guys, the answer is false. Okay. Let's see who's topping. Oh, Tatalas, Cairo, Letabo, KK, and Miss P. All right. Let's go to the next question. During anaphase, the chromatids have moved to the poles. are moving to the poles, are at the equator, or none of the above. Okay, so 3 of us got it correct. Guys, are we 6 now? What happened to the other person who was 7? Okay, I'm moving to the poles. That is correct. And have moved to the poles. No, it's a process where they are moving to the poles. And then we have 1, which is or at the equator. Remember, at the equator is during the second phase, which is called the metaphase. All right, at the equator is at the metaphase. Batat, then Letaba, Kyra, and Tyrese. And KK, I see. It's the first time you're appearing on the top 5. Top 4, 5. Yebo. Okay, question 5. A malignant tumor cannot spread and is cancerous. True or false? Yebo. And the answer is false. Guys, read your question. It says a malignant tumor cannot spread. Remember, tumors can spread, all right? And indeed, a malignant tumor is cancerous, all right? Let's see who's topping. Lwazi. Okay, Kyra, Letabo, Miss P, and Tyrese. Okay. Treatment for cancer. Radiotherapy, chemotherapy, or surgery. Or all of the above. Yeah, but it is all of the above. So to those who answered radiotherapy and surgery, you are
so that your results and your graph would come out properly. So these are the things to look out for in case you have to draw the graph yourself from scratch. That is just a tip from you, for you. Then now, question 2.2. Question 2.2. Nomsa plans to visit Los Angeles for an educational conference. She will be traveling from her hotel to the conference venue with an Uber taxi. An Uber taxi is operated using 2 options as shown below. We've got option 1 and we've got option 2. Option 1, you have the upfront fare. This is how you calculate for upfront fare. And then option 2, there's the post-trip fare. This is how you do your calculations. So with this Uber taxi here, it's up to you. You can pay an upfront fare, which is based on this calculation. Ne? This means you'll pay it before the ride actually takes place. Before you get to your destination, you pay it beforehand. Then when you're on your Uber, the price is exactly like that. You won't have any surprises. But for the post-trip fare, you prefer to pay at the end of your trip, and that uses different calculations. And here, you might pay the estimated value, or you might pay way more than the estimated value. That will depend on the trip and probably some challenges you may meet along the way on the trip. So paying an upfront fare, for some people, it may seem like a safer option because, you know, you don't know what might happen. If in case you get stuck in traffic, you don't have to worry about the miles and the fare accumulating there because you've already paid it and it's upfront and it's calculated. So there are different options there. So this is, I'm just mentioning it so you understand the difference. Then now the table 2 below shows the different Uber taxis and their respective rates in Los Angeles for both upfront and post-trip fare options, including an example of a 10-mile trip using the upfront fare option. So this is the information on table 2. You've got there's cost for base fare, which is the call out fee. As soon as you call out the Uber. There's the per minute fare, per mile fare, minimum fare, which is listed below there, that this is the lowest fare one would be charged for the trip. That is the minimum fare. So whether you take the Uber for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 3 minutes, you will be charged this minimum fare. And then there's the cancellation fee. Yeah? But these vary depending on whether you call an Uber X or an Uber Black or an Uber Lux, which is the Uber Luxury. I'm sure I don't know, are you familiar with how Uber works this site? This will make it easier if you are more familiar, but if not, it's fine. This is based on calculations. So Uber X, based on these numbers, you can see that Uber X is the cheaper option, right? And then Uber Black is more expensive than Uber X, but cheaper than Uber Lux. So you can see the various, yeah, this is how much. At the end of the day, you might be taking any of these three to the very same destination and you'll be paying different prices because of the type of car that is used. And Uber X would be your normal sedan, just your Toyota or your, you know, but your Uber Black then would be the BMWs, you know, the Mercedes Benz, and then Uber Lux, I don't know, because we don't use Uber Lux this side. But I assume it's like the more luxurious one, probably a limo, we don't know. But you can clearly see it because of the different prices, it means there are different types of cars involved there. So this is you and this is me explaining so that you can understand the table here. Then we'll get on to answering questions. Question 2.2.1, calculate the missing value B. You in my class here, Lisedi, hi Lisedi. Where is Genesis now? We are calculating the value, the missing value, which is B here. The missing value B, how do you calculate it? I won't put too much pressure on you, Lisedi, so we'll do it. If you want to answer, you can answer, but I won't. Ne? I'll communicate with you. So we've got total cost here. This is the total cost. You can see here, let me highlight it. All the values here in the last row, the total fare for a 10-mile trip using the upfront option. So when you use an Uber X, you will pay $9. When you use an Uber Black, you will pay $43.50. And an Uber Lux, it would be option B, and that's what we need to calculate. What do we know about this? It is a total fare for a 10-mile trip using the upfront option. So it means the formula used to calculate those values there is the one for upfront fare. That's the formula we are using here, the one for upfront fare. That means it would be the base fare, which is the call out fee, plus number of miles multiplied by per mile fare. We already know what number of miles is because it's clearly indicated there that this is for a 10-mile trip. That is why the formula here is base fare plus 10 multiplied by cost per mile, based on this formula in option 1. So we're basically substituting using the formula in option 1 over here. You've calculated it already. Thank you, Lisedi. So we've got our $20, which is the base fare for the Uber Lux, right? Then plus 10, which is the 10-mile per trip, multiplied by the cost per mile. Then you go here, you look for your cost per mile, and you go to Uber Lux, which is going to be $5. That is why you have 10 multiplied by $5 per mile there. Then your answer is 70. Hey, Lisedi, how did you find your 65.60? Or is it the rounding off? Let's see here. Let's do the calculation again. 10 multiplied by 5 is 50 plus 20, it's 70. So how did you find the 65.60 there, Lisedi? Hey, do you understand, Lisedi? Let's discuss this. Okay, all right, great. So we must always be careful to allocate the correct category you're dealing with. Uber Lux, so we'll only focus on the values under Uber Lux because that's the one we're looking for. So the answer for this one would be, the value for B would be $70. And then 2.2.2, calculate rounded off to the nearest mile the maximum distance for which a person can use the Uber X taxi if you pay the minimum upfront fare. So what are we looking for? We are looking for, I want to use a different color. We are rounding off to the nearest mile, right? The maximum distance for which a person can use the Uber X taxi if you pay the minimum upfront fare. So like I mentioned, it's safer to use the upfront fare because you don't know what challenges you might come across on the road, right? But they have set a limit to the distance, to the distance you can actually use this upfront fare.
So the answer is prophase. Wow, guys, you guys look very undecided on this one. Interface. Remember, we're talking about a chromatin network unwinding. Okay, so here we have the unwinding of the chromatin network. Why isn't it interface? This is where the cell is basically preparing for cell division. Metaphase, guys, that is where we have our chromosomes aligning at the equator. And telophase, that is the preparation basically for the cell to divide, right? And after telophase, we have what we call the cytokinesis. Okay. So the unwinding of the chromatin network is at prophase. Okay. So guys, just revise the certain phases with the characteristics assigned to them. Okay. How? Guys, Lazi is smoking, y'all. Come on, pick it up, pick it up. So Cairo has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Beautiful, Cairo. Which stage of mitosis is depicted on the picture below? Ooh. I'm starting to enjoy the music. Hey guys. So yes, cancer is not contagious. This is not a flu or a virus or bacteria that you can just pop into someone else, right? This is just an uncontrolled cell division, right? Your own body cells, right? So you cannot move a cancer from one person to the other, okay? So whoever said true, I hope you now know that cancer is not contagious. Okay, Laz is still on top. Kyra has the highest answer streak of 5. So Kyra, you can take first place actually, you know? You can go for it. Complementary therapy for the treatment of cancer includes So guys, if you still want to join in, just go to kahoot.it. The game pin is at the bottom. It's 4579649.
Plastic bottle. But I mean, if you guys wanted to use wood or you wanted to use ice,
how much it cost her. So we substitute again. It's this very same formula. It's important to note and pay attention to which formula to use. We knew that we have to use option 2 because it's mentioned here that this was the post-trip fare option, right? So it's number of minutes. We have already worked out that the number of minutes is 69 minutes. Multiply by per minute fare. Remember, we are focused on what? On Uber Black. So you will focus on values on this category of Uber Black. The per minute fare here, go to per minute, it's 45 cents, $0.45. That is what we are substituting there. Plus what? Plus the number of miles. What number of miles we are given in the question here, which is 29.73 miles. Multiply by per mile fare. Per mile fare, we can see again, it's $3.55 per mile. Then you work out your calculations and we see that it actually costed $136.59 when she used this post-trip fare. That's how much this trip cost her. Now we are comparing it with the upfront cost. Why? Because she's saying that had she used the upfront cost,
protected from the sun and some weather conditions. Okay. So what materials do you think you are going to use? Some of you are saying wood.
Let us move on. I think we still have one question. But guys, where is Lwazi? Because, wow, Lwazi, wow, okay. Lwazi, Letabo, Cairo, KK, and Pile. Okay, we see you, we see you. Second last question. Melanoma is a type of carcinomatous cancer. Yeah, true. So guys, remember, this part here, the OMA, the OMA part, right? The suffix, it usually indicates to us cancers, right? So if you see anything that ends with the OMA, it's usually referring to a cancer or a tumor. Okay. So yes, melanoma is a type of carcinomatous cancer. Okay. Guys, Laz is showing you flames. Then we have Letabo, Cairo, KK, and Pile. Miss P, where are you? Or are you Pile? For giving the correct answer. Both males and females can get breast cancer.
I will make the birdhouse, and then I am going to make a bird feeder, and I'm going to hang.
Cairo. Second place, Letabo. First place, zing, 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 zing. Yeah, Lwazi. Well done, Lwazi. And then our runners up in fourth place is Pile, and I think it's KK as well. Okay, let's go back to slides. New share, right? All right. Guys, I'm sorry, this music, I'm probably gonna pause it for 2 minutes and then it will come up again. Okay, yeah, it was nice. The music was nice. Guys, the research assignment for everyone. Number 1, it says research and present information on one type of cancer. So your report must include causes, prevalence, and treatment of the type of cancer you will be researching. Okay. The music is better than Kabza. Okay. Anyway, guys, let's go back. Research. I think this is for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. tomorrow or Wednesday. But guys, please do try doing.
Bottle. I have to hang it in the tree. So what will I use to hang it with? And another thing, I want the birds to perch there.
They're doing whatever they're doing. So they would have not been wasting their time or their money or petrol or whatever. So that makes business sense that way. So this is to protect them as well, so that whether or not there's a trip happening, they can still cover the costs. They can still get some money from that. Also, this part of preventing hoax calls, it does work. Imagine there'd be few people making hoax calls. People wouldn't just joke around calling an Uber when they don't need it, when they know they'll be charged for doing that. As soon as you request the ride and the driver accepts, then automatically you will be charged either the minimum fee if you end up using the trip, or you'll be charged a cancellation fee if you cancel. So whether you were joking around or not, you will be charged for it. So at least that makes business sense for them. And this part here that says for the company to make profit or avoid losses, because imagine if they were to receive 10 hoax calls or over 100 hoax calls in a day, then they would be running at a loss. But this is to ensure that they could even benefit if there are any hoax calls. Yes, you don't trust anybody, but in this Uber business, when I said you we are literally, remember when we were young? I don't know, when I was young, you were still young. But yeah, I think everyone learned that. We all learned that we should never talk.
A pencil and a paper for this, and you have to
on there. So at least there are records of those things. Although these days people are actually using other people's identities to drive. So yeah, we can never really guarantee it. And we can't really trust anybody, but some of these are unavoidable. Uber is providing such a convenience that we didn't have before. You could literally request a ride any time of the day, and it will drop you off exactly where you are going, as opposed to public transport where you'll have to probably change taxis or buses or walk to the bus stop. You know, there are a lot of pros and cons to this thing. But yes, you're telling the truth. It's very difficult to trust people these days. So that is it from me today. That was very quick, like I mentioned. Ne? I actually wanted to ask everyone here, but seems everyone else didn't know class was at 12. So Lisedi, I will ask this again when they join us, ne? But please, I will also, because I wanted to do Kahoot tomorrow. If they don't join, it might be difficult to do it with just you. So I'll try prepare something else as well, just for contingency planning. So tell me here, which topic which topic here of these three have you done, or would you like to do next? I see data handling.
don't have any place where they can lay eggs. So the solution was to build a birdhouse for them. That's what I mean with evaluate. Okay, so we will go back to the problem and we will ask the following questions. Has my design solved the problem, and how? So I answered, yes, it did. It provided shelter for wild birds and a place to nest. You saw that picture of mine? I think that it solved the problem. Then question number 2, did I stick to the specifications and the constraints? Now, if I look at my specifications, I thought of something that could have changed. You know, I said that I am going to use dowel sticks, but that's something I need to go buy. Do you all know what dowel sticks are? It's those round sticks you get in a bird cage. Now, I thought if I'm not able to go to the shop, or if I'm not able to find the dowel sticks, I will change it to sticks from a tree. I will just get a nice and sturdy stick, and I will put that there for the birds to perch. So there I changed a specification. You guys see that? Okay. Good. Now, if you change some of the specifications, such as the size or materials, why did you do so? Well, I think I just answered that question. Basically, as we are in lockdown, I couldn't get to a shop that sells dowel sticks. So if you guys have drawn your design, remember that it is basically never your end product will look exactly like your design. You are going to, as you go on, you're going to learn more things. You're going to realize, oh, this doesn't work, or if I do this, then it's not going to be sturdy, or things will change as you move on with your design. So the end design does definitely not need to look at the one you drew. It is going to be different, okay? Then the last question here, is there any way you think you could improve your design? Now, when I looked at it, okay, I'm just reading your chat box. You want me to go back a slide? Okay, I'm going to go back after I answer this question, okay? Is there any way you think you could improve?
Simplify app provides you access to all textbooks. Yeah, I think a lot of them that you are using, guys, in your grade 12, yeah, they have those textbooks. So any textbook, you can search for it. So you can probably, let's say you and your school are using Oxford. You can also access other titles or other textbooks just to supplement the information that you have, or because the textbook, they explain these things differently. So you might find you actually understand the explanations from this different textbook better. So you can also try the Simplify app to get access to those different textbooks. Then there's the grade 12 mathematical literacy Mind the Gap study guide. Mind the Gap study guide also is just like, it provides you an overview of the work you're doing this year and some activities as well. So you might find that in the literacy mobile app, you might find activities that you'll also find in the study guide, in the Mind the Map study guide. So yeah, they're interlinked. They will help you very much. Yeah? So that is it from me today. I will see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Yeah? You can remind the others. I will also push and tell them again. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, it's class time. Thank you. And for those, I'm sorry, guys, for those who missed the lesson, I forgot to mention this on Friday, that class is moving to 12 o'clock. So please forgive me. That's it from me today. Thank you, Lisedi. Thank you, Kobe. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bird catcher too low. So bird catcher, your bird house. Try and ask your parents to help you to put it high up in a tree, or a tree just outside of your house, okay? So you don't want to walk outside and there are all your little birdies in your dog's mouth. That won't help, will it? Okay, now, guys, there was a revision exercise I wanted to do, but now you just skip through it very quickly. I am going to use it in the Kahoot game we are going to play on Friday. Okay, remember I said we will be doing some assessment, and during the week sometime we are going to practice playing Kahoot. It would help if you have a second device. If you don't, it's not a train smash, then I'm going to show you how we are going to do this, okay? So tell your parents about it. You can go Google Kahoot as well. And it's a question and answer game, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So we will be talking about that again tomorrow. But for now, your homework, if you were to design a bird shelter, draw what you want it to look like. This is what I told you earlier. You might need to make many drawings until you decide which design you want to use. It's a good idea to use scrap paper for this. Label the different parts of your design and say what material each part is made of. Then you can please send your designs to me at this email address. Right, guys? This has now taken us to the end of our lesson. Tomorrow we are going to start looking at materials around us. We will be discussing solids, liquids, and gases. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, it's a pleasure and an honor teaching you guys. I hope to see all of you again here tomorrow. Have fun with drawing or designing your bird house. Bye-bye, guys.